Now, just on sport, there's been a lot of talk about women's sport lately. Lots of good news on the back of the Women's Football World Cup in Australia. But I reckon this tends to expose a bit of the very same sexism in sport that these people say is being overcome. I mean, what they are pushing are sports where men have led the way and women are catching up, which is a good thing, sure, in its own right. You know, women's AFL, women's cricket, and of course the Matildas in women's football all doing so well. And there's big news today that cricket might actually make it to the Olympics.
The International Olympic Committee will this week consider a recommendation to include T20 cricket in the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. If passed, this could pave the way for the sport to be played at the Gabba in Brisbane 4 years later.
Fair enough, and I suppose, presumably, it would include men's and women's T20 comps. But here's my point. What about netball? Shouldn't the next sport admitted into the Olympics be netball? You know, the one where Australia, more often than not, by the way, is the world champion, winning again last month. 3 or 4 times more girls and women play netball in Australia than cricket. Netball is played by more than 20 million people, mainly women and girls, in 80 countries around the world. Isn't netball a sport constantly overlooked because it's primarily a women's sport? If you want to promote women's sport, then back netball. Back netball for the Olympics.